Hi guys, how we going? Look, I've got the logo. What do you reckon, guys? I should be wearing a hat with this. So this was sent to me by Jeffrey. So I have just spent 2 hours, maybe longer, trying to create a shop so we can at least get something with this logo on. I'll be honest with you, I'm not interested in having a shop. I'm not interested in it's not, selling t-shirts, mugs, vests, whatever it is. But too many of you are asking me now for t-shirts and vests and all that. So I just thought, let's give it a go. So I just spent ages and I've sent a shop. It's all set up. We just have to wait for confirmation, and then I don't know how much. I have no idea how much things are going to cost. Let me just get you guys up. Hi Cassie, how it going? Right, I haven't told anyone that I'm live, so I just need to quickly put it on my Facebook. Let's have a look. Live. So Nicola's just sent me something. So let's just give it a minute or two. Right, okay. Right, let me just tell. Let's go on to okay, so then we've got live. I'm just telling everyone now. Hi Manny, I've literally last minute managed to go live. I'm just quickly putting it on our Facebook that we're live. I'll put it on YouTube that we're live. So Manny has done a great job. He's been working hard. He's done a few videos today from our scripts, and thank you so much, Manny. Please subscribe to Elvis Blue Defending the King. Very important. Right, so I think I've told everyone. Let's have a look. So I want to do a live. If I can do this and give me enough time to Ella, I might go live with Ella as well. So it's all rush. The setting up of the shop took me bloody ages. Yeah. I've been putting it off for ages. I know that we needed something where we can get a t-shirt or something like that. Team Elvis have been asking me to do a shop for bloody ages. So this was given to me by Manny. I'm not sorry, not Manny, by Jeff. Actually, I'll tell Jeff we're live. Actually, I need to tell Donna we're live as well, because we're gonna. So rush. Let me just tell him we're live. Look for Jeff, and then let's tell Donna we're live, and Karen, Linda. Right. Okay. Tell Tony as well. Tell Karen. Is Karen on yet? No. So I actually have about 150 names of people that I let know when we're live. I just don't have time. I don't have time to tell everyone. Right, who we got here? So Diane, we have Carolyn, looks like she's here. Hi Sarge. Who else we got here? Let's have a look. So it takes a little while for people to get on. Kasaya, are you new, Kasaya? Kasaya, welcome. I can see Diane's here. So you know what it's like. A few of you will some of you watch through the night. You're all asleep because different time zones. Some of you will get up. Hi Linda. And so this is my plan. I want to play a couple of the videos that Manny has done, and then we're going to play Donna Presley's second half of her video. Now, I just want to say something, guys. The name Edy Hand has been brought up a few times. Some of the stalkers, the people that are anti-defenders, like to talk about Edy Hand as if she's some kind of hero. I don't know much about her. Yeah. So we're going to see what Donna Presley says. The only thing I know is that she's a very distant relative. A very distant relative. That's all I know. I saw an interview where she said she babysat Lisa Marie. To be honest with you, I'd like to see proof of that, because Donna is completely unaware of Edy Hand babysitting Lisa Marie, and she never met Elvis. As far as I know, Edy Hand never met Elvis. There's no comparison to Edy Hand and Donna Presley, because Donna Presley lived around Elvis, which has been proved. Even the families have accepted that, haven't they? Even, the well-known families have said, yeah, she was there. Yeah. And that she's obviously that Donna is Elvis's first cousin, obviously, blood cousin. And that her parents, Donna's parents, Nash and Earl, lived at Circle G and at Gracelands. In fact, Donna's parents worked at Gracelands and Circle G and babysat Donna's children at Gracelands. So I don't really see that Edy Hand. I just see that she's a distant relative. That's all I see, a very distant relative. So I'm sure she's a nice enough person. I'm not doubting that she's a nice person, and that she loves Elvis, etc., that she's proud of being a distant relative to Elvis. But was she right in there with everyone, with Elvis, living with Elvis, living at Circle G, or visiting Gracelands, or Circle G? No, I don't think she was. I don't think she was. I don't think she met Elvis. Yeah. So who knows, guys? Who knows? But we're gonna see what we're gonna just see what Donna says about Edy Hand. It's at the end of the interview. I just want to say I'm not against her. She's not a family member like Donna is, like the different cousins are, is she? She's a distant one, twice removed relative. Yeah. So so Linda says you watched the podcast with Edy Hand and Ronnie McDowell. I watched it as well. I watched it, and I like Ronnie McDowell. Yeah, but come on, guys, Donna was actually there. Yeah, I'm not saying she's not related. I'm saying she's distantly related. There's no comparison to Donna. Donna is, people try and throw up Donna's past with her husband, or with an old book, or problems with items that were being sold, or hair samples, whatever it is. But that doesn't change who she is, does it? It doesn't go, all right, because there were problems in the past, Donna now is not Elvis's first cousin. Do you get it? So Edie said that all those things on the podcast, she says she's his cousin, but she's doing some show somewhere. Yeah, no, because I know that Edie likes to be kept acquainted with Elvis-related people. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that doesn't make her a close relative. Yeah, and so anyway, guys. Do you know what? I think I'm going to play Donna's video first. Yep. And then we're going to play Manny's stuff, seeing as we're talking about it. Now, the Edy Hand part of it is at the end. Okay? So, I did watch it. I don't know. Normally, I don't watch them.
Thank you very much.
Normally I don't watch them. I wait so I can react to them. But the second 10 minutes I have watched. So we're going to react to it. Of course, this is a review. Of course, I'm very proud of Donna. She is a #1 Elvis defender. So a big thing that I've been talking about recently is our right to defend. But the other thing that I've been trying to talk about recently is the excuses people give to say that why Elvis does not need defended. Yeah, so one of the most common excuses why people say Elvis doesn't need defending is Elvis is all about love. Elvis is all about love. Now that has got to the point of irritation for me now. Yeah. So because yes, we know. And a couple of people are messaging me. All right, Tina's got a football match tomorrow. Right, where is it? It's at World. So Tina, my 5-year-old boy. So it bugs me, guys. I know Elvis was a lovely human being with a kind heart, a generous, charming, caring, loving man. I know, yeah? But that doesn't mean he was a weak man. It doesn't mean he was a wimp or that he allowed himself to be bullied or picked on or badly treated or walked over or insulted. Elvis was a strong man, a very strong man in every way. He was physically strong. He would physically stand up for himself. We all know there's been a few instances. There's been a few instances where Elvis has had to stand up for himself, hasn't there? You know, even in the 50s. Yeah. So when people keep saying, you know, Elvis is all about love and we must discuss Elvis in a calm, friendly, caring, loving manner, I'm like, Elvis wasn't a bloody teddy bear. Yeah. He was a bloody man. He was a tough man. He was a rugged, tough man. Yeah, he was good looking. Yeah, beautiful, sexy, but he was no wimp. So when people now say to me, Elvis is all about love, and then use that as the excuse to not defend him, it bloody grates on me. Do any of you understand that? This is the new excuse now. Elvis is all about love. Elvis is all about love, yeah? I'll tell you now, if Elvis was alive and he knew about all of the things that had gone on by friends and family, ex-wife, bodyguards, Memphis Mafia, people like that, he'd be running around karate chopping and karate kicking everyone. He'd be like, right, who betrayed me? Hot-cha! Who betrayed me? Hot-cha! Yeah? We know he liked the Pink Panther. Yeah? Didn't he? Do you remember the karate scenes in the Pink Panther? There's no way that Elvis was all about love. Yes, that was a big part of his personality. Yes, he was a beautiful Christian man, a very forgiving, kind person that had an ear for everyone. He would listen to people's problems and he really cared about everyone around him. Yeah, definitely. But he was the first to stand up for himself. They say that he didn't like confrontation. Yeah. Okay, he didn't like confrontation, but sometimes he was right in there. Oh, Patty, did you get a notification? Is that right? So I'm not having it anymore. I don't care who you are. YouTube channel, Elvis fan. I don't care what you are. Elvis was not just all about love. He was also a tough man with a heart of a lion, and he would stand up for himself vigorously, and he would stand up for his daughter vigorously, and he would stand up for his family, the Presleys, vigorously. So stop it. It's not an excuse to say, let's run circles around Elvis and humiliate him and take away his dignity because he was all about love. Anybody that stands up for Elvis, we're going against the grain because Elvis was all about love. I'm fed up with it. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's irritating. Right. Okay. Let's play the video. From now on, everybody that says to me, oh, Elvis doesn't need defending. He was all about love. I am going to go. I'm going to not be happy. Stop it. Here goes.
Okay, let's see. This is Miss Alice Wonderland. I don't get it. I did not read whatever was said. I don't read anything, to be honest. Why are the Stanleys involved in anything of Elvis's today? They are Elvis's father's ex-family, long ago dismissed. I just don't get it. Well, Alice.
Well, you know, we've started on a serious point. Let me just see what she says.
Let me say this. They were a part of Elvis's life for a number of years, and they have every right to speak about him. What I have issue with is if they do it in a demeaning way, if they do it in a disrespectful way, because Elvis was loving and caring to them. He protected them. He took care of them and tried to be a role model and guide them.
Do you hear all that? She's talking about the Stanleys. You know how I feel about the Stanleys, guys. Isn't it a coincidence that I have to laugh? Yeah, the Wicked Witch of the West, the Priscilla fan. All of a sudden, you know, remember why we fell out? Because I disagreed with her views on Priscilla. That's why we fell out. No other reason. I just disagreed with her views on Priscilla. Yeah, that's all. Trasher fans, yeah? I remember what I call these people, trasher fans. And all of a sudden, Billy Stanley. You get it? Do any of you know what I'm talking about? And now I don't want to say I told you so, but I'm gonna. I told you so. I know a trasher fan when I see one. I know a trasher fan when I see one. So, come on, guys. These people play into my hands, expose themselves, make themselves look silly. Now, Donna, I agree with what she's saying. She's saying, yes, the Stanleys grew up sometimes around Elvis. Of course, they were. Elvis more or less took them in as his own stepbrothers, yeah, on behalf of Vernon and Dee. They were just children. He took them out with Vernon. He took them out of boarding school, yeah, and Elvis gave them a beautiful life. He reintroduced them to Christianity, and Elvis took it very seriously, how he treated Ricky and Dave and Billy. And I don't think Elvis liked Dee Stanley. I don't think Elvis wanted Dee and Vernon to live in the house, which is why he bought them a house. Yeah. And we know that Elvis didn't go to the wedding, but I will say this. Elvis, being a good man, a decent man, a respectful man who loved his father, tried to do best, make the best of the situation. So I would say that the Elvis was respectful to Dee Stanley as Vernon's wife. Okay. Now with the kids, Elvis loved children. Elvis took it very seriously with the 3 kids, and he did right by them. He did the best he could for them. Yeah. He gave them a lot of love, affection, friendship. Of course, he tried to help bring them up with Dee, with Vernon as best as he could, and he took it very seriously. So I completely acknowledge that the Stanleys were at Gracelands or whichever other house they were at for many years, and had an amazing life, witnessed Elvis at his best in his glory days. And I acknowledge that they will have lots of memories of being with Elvis, around Elvis, but not as best mates. You know, they're not strapped to his leg, but they were around. Of course they were. Yeah, I acknowledge that. Now, their behavior as adults, I have a completely different opinion. Their behavior as adults towards Elvis, I am horrified that these people went on to trash Elvis in the way that they did. Horrified. All of them. Every one of them. I accept some were worse than others. Of course, Dee Stanley did some pretty disgusting things on the Geraldo show. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes. Nothing I say is fact. Everything I say is just an opinion sharing discussion YouTube channel where we discuss opinions, we share opinions. Nothing I say is true. But I've made it very clear how I feel about the behavior of the Stanleys, the stepbrothers. Okay, I'm entitled to my opinion. It's that simple. And so I acknowledge they have great memories, really good memories of being around Elvis. Yeah, around the Presleys, around the Smiths, around Elvis's bubble, his inner circle. But that has nothing to do with how I feel about how they all betrayed him, trashed for cash, did books and other things. One of them even said that he committed suicide. Elvis committed suicide. It was even said about one of them that there may have been some kind of sexual stuff that happened with Priscilla. Yeah. So, you know, just alleged, not a fact. So to be honest with you guys, I'm horrified by all of it. Elvis, in my opinion, Elvis would be absolutely horrified by what went on behind his back after he died. Get it? There's even serious concerns about what went on around Elvis the day he passed, leading up to him passing, after he passed. Yeah? So there's a lot of concerns from Elvis fans, but it's all just alleged. There's nothing factual or there's nothing as truth. It is just concerns that the fans have, not just me, Elvis defenders and Elvis fans are concerned about what went on. So what I think Donna Presley is trying to say, Elvis's first cousin, yeah, she was there from the 60s. So were her parents. I think what Donna's trying to say is, look, if the Stanley boys have stories to share, positive stories to share, that's great. But it's when they take advantage and it's trash for cash. When Elvis is embarrassed, his dignity taken away from him in front of his daughter. When Elvis is bad-mouthed, yeah. When Elvis's image and reputation is damaged by the words coming out of these three boys' mouth, including their mother's mouth, then Donna is going to take issue. Yeah. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't think Donna is accepted by these people because when she obviously uses the name Presley, and it was brought up by Billy that what would her parents think about her using the name Presley? Well, I think that's a bit of a low blow, especially coming from someone who has also used the name Presley. Billy Stanley's last name is Billy Presley. Billy Stanley Presley. You get it? So you're pointing the finger at Donna, but then, but secretly, you've already took the name Presley. So it's a double standard towards Donna and just not very nice. Donna is Elvis's family. So why have a little dig at her? Why have a poke at Donna for using the name Presley when she's got Presley blood in her veins, when she is a genuine first cousin and you're an ex-stepbrother? Remember, the Stanleys are ex-stepbrothers because Vernon and Dee divorced. I personally don't think Billy Stanley had the right to use the name Presley. I don't accept that he was given permission to use the name Presley. That's just how I feel. I'm just a fan. I'm entitled to my opinion. So, do you understand what I'm trying to say, guys? So I'm just looking at some comments a minute, guys. So there's 52 watching. Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much. So what is Donna really trying to say? Donna is basically saying, look, they had their place in history. They were there, genuinely there. But why did they trash him? Why did they trash him? Why did they backstab him, double cross him, betray him, help ruin some of his reputation? Okay, let's listen to what Donna says.
And, you know, I'm not saying Elvis was perfect by no means. None of us are. But he certainly was a good and caring and loving man and generous to a fault. And he gave them everything that they had and gave them a life that they would have never been able to see, you know, ever if it wasn't for Elvis. And those are good things. And so that's what he should be remembered for. And it really upsets me when they say terrible things and blame their own mistakes on Elvis. And
see, this is a big point. Oh, they point the finger. Elvis was human. They mentioned drugs. They mention what women partying. They mention that Elvis lived as a single man, but they don't point the finger at themselves. This is the problem. They want to point the finger at Elvis. You did this, you did that, you were human. Yeah, Elvis made mistakes. Elvis succumbed to temptation, but they don't point the finger at themselves and what they did. What they did. Don't forget, one of them said Elvis committed suicide on the day he died in front of, his daughter was living there. So it's pretty disgusting. And he said it for many years. Yeah. Then the other story about the possibility of, when they went skinny dipping at one of the apartments of one of the brothers, and allegedly things went on, sexual things, allegedly. It ain't good, is it? I don't think Elvis would like it. Even though Priscilla was an ex, I don't think she would like it. I mean, Elvis would like it, even though it's his ex. It's the mother of his child. Does anyone here for a second think that Elvis would be okay with Priscilla being naked, skinny dipping with one of the Stanleys? Remember when Elvis met them, when Priscilla met them, they were children, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7. But you get my point, guys. So I'm sorry, there's some pretty disgusting, dastardly behavior from the Stanleys, from all of them. Yeah. And we could mention the books. The book, Dave Stanley is releasing the book, Surviving Elvis. What a horrible title. Surviving Elvis, that points the finger at everybody else, blames everyone's mistakes on Elvis. Do you understand my point, guys? Yeah. So the Stanley story isn't straightforward, is it? It's complicated. And the fact that one of them recently said Elvis doesn't need defending. I repeat, Billy said on Joe's show, Elvis doesn't need defending. Well, that's shocking. Yeah. Because of course he does. He's had his reputation wrecked and ruined. Yes, we know that the legend is intact. We know that the legend of Elvis is intact. But what about the man behind the legend? What about the human being that was literally humiliated in public for entertainment in front of his daughter, Lisa Marie? Yeah. So Elvis does need defending. And to say, oh, Elvis is in heaven, so he doesn't care, is ridiculous. This is the other ridiculous thing that I keep hearing. Elvis is in heaven, so he wouldn't care if he was trashed. It's ridiculous. One of the most stupid things I've ever heard. One of the most stupid things I've ever heard. It's a bit like saying Elvis is all about love, so that means he wouldn't want to be defended. It's ridiculous. Of course he would. Elvis always stood up for himself. He was a very strong, very passionate man. Yeah. So there are many instances of Elvis standing up for himself. Yeah. So let's carry on with Donna.
If I hadn't been with Elvis or been around Elvis, I wouldn't have done this. You make your own choices and you made your own mistakes. And so certainly not to tear anybody else down or demean anybody. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying that, he gave you a lot. He gave them a lot. And that's what they should remember him for. So thank you for the question.
And she says not to tear anyone down, not to demean them, right? But I tell you what, they teared Elvis down. They demeaned him. They took away his dignity. So it's what they deserve, isn't it? Yeah? It's not fair that it's one rule for them, different rule for Elvis, bearing in mind how good Elvis was to these people. Yeah? And we're not just talking about the stepbrothers, are we? There's many other people. Bodyguards, cousins, ex-wife, ex-girlfriends. Many people that teared Elvis down, demeaned Elvis, took away Elvis's dignity in front of his daughter, Lisa Marie. In front of his grandkids, Riley, Finley and Harper. These people are still tearing him down. And their excuse, Elvis is all about love. I was there. I lived the life. Get it? It's a complete double standard.
Okay, the next one is APHN.
So quickly get on. Hi, Patty. So I've had a lot of pressure to try and set up a shop with T-shirts. Yeah. So I have done it. I'm not interested in making money. It's not why I've done it. I've just, under a lot of pressure, a lot of people asking me, I've set the shop up. I think it'll be live um, within a day. Yeah. And it's going to have this logo. I like this logo. I will introduce some other logos. Maybe we'll have a bit of fun with it as well. And maybe you guys can come up with some ideas. I know Manny, Elvis Blue Defending the King, he mentioned about some logos concerning the Defending Elvis channel. So it'll be up live, guys. But I don't make the products. It is just a company that creates the products, and as you order them, that company sends them directly to you. Okay, and but I did have to set up the account to get it live. It's not 100% live yet, but it will be. I've started with some t-shirts, some hoodies, some ladies' vests or ladies' sweatshirts or something like that. And then I will start adding products on, you know, clothing products and different logos as we go along. Okay. But guys, it isn't something I wanted to do. Yeah. But I sort of had to. Yeah. A lot of people were asking.
Donna, why did a Nevada Supreme Court judge officiate Elvis and Priscilla's wedding instead of a minister? I realize you explained why it wasn't a Catholic priest for Priscilla, but if it didn't matter to Priscilla, wouldn't Elvis have wanted to have his marriage to anyone be recognized by the church and gotten Aunt Nash or another minister to officiate the wedding? Well, that was a very, very quick and hurried affair. It was very private and secret, and they didn't want anybody to know. Elvis, it didn't really matter to Elvis, the fact that it was before a judge or a minister. Certainly, I think that had things been different and had he really been wanting to get married at this time, I think he would have definitely wanted a minister, and probably Mom, he would have wanted to do it. But
so this is a big point, isn't it? You know, why did Elvis never do a proper wedding, a proper church wedding? I know that they had a big party at Graceland's, you know, a big reception at Graceland's, but why did Elvis never have a proper wedding? Proper, like, you know, with all the extras, all the frills, you know. What do you think, guys? Put it in the comments. I think it speaks volumes. I think Elvis went into that wedding with Priscilla very half-heartedly. I think he was very reluctant. I do think he had his arm twisted. I do think he was under pressure to marry Priscilla. I do.
it was a secret marriage, and they didn't want anybody to know or any big hoopla about it. And certainly, if anybody had known ahead of time, there would have been, you know, paparazzi and helicopters and everything, and they didn't want that. But when they came back to Graceland after the wedding, they threw a big reception. Of course, the whole family and friends and relatives all came and celebrated. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, so they did have a big celebration. I'll give that. Yeah. I'd love to have some information. That celebration at Graceland's. I'd love to be a fly on the wall and know what went on. But I will be honest, they you know, I do accept that Priscilla had good and bad times. Good and bad times. I also accept Lisa Marie and her mum, Priscilla, had good and bad times. Good and bad. There's plenty of interviews with Priscilla where she's getting on well with Lisa Marie. So I want to be fair. I want to be fair, okay? It wasn't all bad, yeah?
I see, here's another question. Do you know if Lisa Marie was baptized? I've never heard anything about it, although I heard Jerry Schilling was her godfather. But I don't know if that is true. Well, I don't know if he's her godfather or not. That's something that I think is a really religious thing, and we all know that Priscilla was a Scientologist, or is a Scientologist, and she took Lisa into Scientology, which they definitely would not believe in baptism or anything to do with God or any normal religion. So
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea about Scientology. Do they believe in God? I have no idea. I literally have no idea. Let me just make sure that Donna's with us. Let me just ask her. She might not be with us. Do they believe in, guys? Does Scientology believe in God, Jesus? I have no idea. You tell me, guys.
I would say more than likely, no, she was never baptized. So thank you for your question. Okay, this is from Cassia Helliott. Donna, I just wanted to ask a question for your next Q&A.
Oh, that's a coincidence. Cassia, your question's being asked, and Cassia's with us now. Cassia, were you expecting this? Elvis himself even said it was railroaded through and he had nothing to do with it. So, Cassia, your question is being asked.
Video. What is your opinion on Joe Esposito? I know.
Now, guys, the Joe Esposito thing. I want you to know, guys, that I did speak with Cindy Esposito for over half an hour on the phone. Me and her. She was very polite, very friendly. She's very firm. She speaks her mind. I get on well with her. So I don't have a problem with Joe Esposito. None at all. I've done quite a lot of research on Joe. I don't know everything, but I know enough that he was a strong character. Yeah. He wasn't perfect. He made mistakes, but generally he loved Elvis. He loved Elvis. Yeah. And so you won't see me trashing Joe Esposito. Yeah. And I know there is some complicated stories with Joe, but I won't trash him. I'm not against Joe. I like Cindy Esposito.
Oh, he was involved in filing a lawsuit against Elvis in April 1976, but he remained friends with Elvis, and he later went on to defend Elvis in the Dee Stanley interview, where she makes terrible accusations.
So I don't know about the lawsuit, but I do. Obviously, I watched Joe Esposito and JD attack and Dee Stanley, which is exactly what she deserved, because the things that Dee Stanley was saying about poor Elvis were absolutely disgusting. I've always thought Dee Stanley was just trying to get revenge, was very angry, very bitter. It's just an opinion for entertainment purposes, not a fact. But there's a lot of stuff I think went on behind the scenes concerning Dee Stanley and the Stanleys that I think fans are quite upset about, that Elvis is upset about. Maybe Vernon was upset about. Vernon had some strong opinions about what happened to Elvis at the end of his life as well. He had serious concerns, didn't he? So all of it is pretty scary stuff. Yeah, we can only discuss it as just as sharing opinions. We can just bring it up as a discussion. Nothing we say is fact, and nothing we say is truth. It is just an entertainment show on YouTube where we share opinions.
I just wanted to know what Elvis and you thought of him. Thanks so much. You are a very beautiful lady and soul. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. It's so kind of you, and it's a very sweet thing to say, so thank you. To be honest with you, the family and the Memphis Mafia didn't commingle much. We were around each other, of course, because we were all in the house at times, and Elvis would be there. And of course, the thing of it is you have to understand is that during that time, if Elvis was around, the Memphis Mafia were busy focusing on Elvis. They were busy focusing on what he wanted or whatever. And they were also jockeying and vying for position and favor. So there was a lot of turmoil going on inside the Memphis Mafia themselves. Not all of them were that way. There were some Memphis Mafia that I really thought a lot of, and to this day still do. I love Charlie Hodge, and the family was very close to him. He was more like family than just a friend. There was Richard Davis was very kind, and Sam Thompson was kind, and Dick Grove. And
that's interesting that she liked Sam Thompson. That's Linda's brother, isn't it, guys?
There were a couple of others, but the rest of them we weren't exactly. We were cordial to each other. but it was kind of hard to watch the way things went down with the Memphis Mafia. And when Elvis wasn't around, unfortunately, they would be very a lot of them, not all of them, but some of them would be very arrogant. And so we just kind of spoke cordially and went on to Grandma's room or wherever we were going in the house, and they stayed somewhere else. So, but a lot of times they'd be, if Elvis was in the room, they didn't even know whether we came or went or whatever because they were focused on him. So I hope that answers your question. And I don't mean to make it sound like it was a bad thing or a hard thing. It was just one of those things. It does bring up painful memories at times, and some of these questions do bring up painful memories. And I try to answer them as openly and honestly as I possibly can. And as I've said, it's not that I'm trying to demean anybody. I'm just trying to give you a clear picture of what it was like and what the people were like around Elvis. We all got along, there were no quarrels or fights or anything like that. But we just didn't mingle much with most of the Memphis Mafia. So I hope that answers your question.
I think that very, very honest. She said, come on, guys. The Memphis Mafia were a strong-minded bunch of men. There was partying going on, womenizing women, drugs, alcohol, obviously smoking. So it was a real man's world. And they took it seriously, looking after Elvis. That's one thing I do think. They had a tough job to do, looking after, protecting the most famous man on the planet. I do think Elvis made sure they did their jobs. But at the same time, there was times when they took advantage of Elvis. Not all of them, some of them. Yeah. So it isn't straightforward, is it? Let's keep going.
Let's see if there's anything else. Okay. So, hi, Donna. Not sure how you submit questions, so I will do it through DMs. The other day, I stumbled on an interview with Edy Hand, Elvis's cousin, and yours.
So this is the thing. Now, don't forget, the Edy Hand thing has come up. Yeah, it's been brought up because of the book, Precious Memories. It's been brought up because of Donna's past. So I think Donna gives a very honest answer about Edy Hand. I can't say that much about her. Yeah. I've seen the interview a few weeks ago. Yeah. She comes across friendly, likable. She seems like a decent woman. Yeah. I've got nothing against her. But I will say this. She is no relative compared to Donna. She is a distant relative. And I question the whole babysitting Lisa Marie bit. Something doesn't feel right with me. And the other thing about, she never met Elvis. She never met Elvis. Donna lived around Elvis, lived with Elvis. So did her parents. So there's quite a big difference. And Donna is a close relative, a first cousin. Edie is a twice removed on the grandmother's side. Do you know what I mean? You're going to hear it now. She's a distant relative. It's pretty obvious Edie likes to be associated with Elvis. Fine. Nothing wrong with that. But as long as it's not done in a way to belittle Donna. Yeah? So let's have a listen.
Mingle much with most of the Memphis Mafia. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay. So, hi, Donna. Not sure how you submit questions, so I will do it through DMs. The other day, I stumbled on an interview with Edy Hand, Elvis's cousin, and yours. Did you spend time with her? How is she related? Both of you. She looked after Lisa and was in close contact with her till she died. God bless you and love you.
Okay. Quite a big question because it's been a topic recently with us on defending Elvis, with the trashers, with the stalkers, yeah, with the fake Elvis fans, with the anti-defenders, the fake Elvis YouTube channels. The Edy Hand thing is quite a big deal. They use her as a hero to go against Donna. The anti-Donna brigade love talking about Edy Hand and the book Precious Memories. Let's hear what's said.
Of your channel. Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I love having you, all of you, tell me that you love the videos and the channels, because I just want to stand up for my family and let you know what they were like. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything, and I'm not.
I love that. I just want to stand up for my family and let them know what they were like. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. Let's keep going.
Not trying to hurt anybody or demean anybody, but like I said, I like to be open and honest and truthful with you all.
So she's just being straight with people. She was there, what she witnessed. Yeah? She doesn't want to attack anyone or be rude or insult people. In fact, she doesn't really say names hardly ever, does she? She's a classy lady. She defends in a classy way. She's very elegant with it, and very honourable with it. And I think she's very respectful.
So let me answer this question. Edy Hand is a distant relative.
Did you hear that? Edy Hand is a distant relative. She's not a first cousin. Let's keep going.
Her grandmother, I believe, was my grandmother's great niece.
Sorry, guys, I have to laugh. Her grandmother was my grandmother's great niece. I repeat, her grandmother was my grandmother's great niece. This is a distant relative. Get it? To the stalkers out there, the trashers, the fake Elvis fans, fake Elvis channels, listen to someone who knows.
So that would make her.
I'm going to play it again.
You know what they were like. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody or demean anybody, but like I said, I like to be open and honest and truthful with you all. So let me answer this question. Edy Hand is a distant relative. Her grandmother, I believe, was my grandmother's great niece. So that would make her a very distant relative. She did not grow up. She did not stay at Graceland in the summertime. I did.
She did not stay at Gracelands in the summertime. But Donna clearly did. Her parents lived there. Of course she did.
Unfortunately, and Edie likes to take other people's stories sometimes and use them as her own.
Edie likes to take other people's stories and make them her own. Come on, guys. Let's keep going. I know I'm going to get a reaction to this. I know the stalkers, the trolls, the bullies, the vile bullies that attack me, Donna, my family, my wife, my kids. They even attack Ginger Oldham. They are anti-defenders. I know you're not going to like this, but this is truth. Truth is truth.
So I was the one that spent summers at Graceland. She never babysat Lisa. And
remember, she said she babysat Lisa Marie Presley. Edie said that. Edie, I'd love to see some proof. Edy Hand, if you watch my show, I'd love to see some proof of you babysitting, because you are a distant relative. You didn't spend summers at Gracelands. Donna says that you never met Lisa Marie or babysat her. Donna, she lived there and her parents lived there, and Donna's children were babysat at Gracelands by her parents, Nash and Earl. Okay? It's already been proved. The other relatives have said it. The cousins have said it. Donna was at Gracelands, lived there, and Circle G Ranch. Donna lived there with her parents, okay?
And she never drove her around Memphis. So I know that didn't happen. So that's the best I can tell you. And she's a distant relative. I don't have anything to do with her any longer. We did for a while, and we, shared time together, but we decided that our thoughts and our efforts were in a different direction. So I hope that answers your question. And looks like that might be all for tonight.
So I'm expecting a reaction from all of that, okay? From all of that. And bring it on. Bring it on, you stalkers. Bring it on.
Oh, wait a minute, there's one more. This is from Cassia Elliott. Yeah, Cassia Elliott or Elliott. I can't remember. I'm not really sure about that. Donna, I wanted to ask you what you think about Joyce Bova. She claims very many things in her book. Don't Ask Forever, including that she had to get an abortion because of Elvis frequently reminding her that he wouldn't have sex with a woman who had a baby. What is
Well, in the research I've done, it's been proved that that is bullshit. It has been proved that Elvis did have sex with women that had had children. It has been proved. So we know it's bullshit. Now, I can't comment on Joyce Bova. I haven't read her book. All I can say is I fully agree with what Donna is about to say about Elvis's views on abortion. I repeat, I fully agree with what Donna's going to say. Elvis wouldn't have been up for an abortion. It would have completely gone against his Christian beliefs. Okay? But let's hear what Donna says.
your opinion on her and these claims? Love you so much, Donna. Well, thank you very much. Love you too. All of you very much. And I appreciate you so much. I don't know who this woman is. I have not read her book, nor will I. But I can tell you this, Elvis would never ask anybody to have an abortion, ever.
I believe that. To the bottom of my heart, I not for 1 second think that Elvis would allow someone to have an abortion with his child. Honestly, I really believe that. And no one's ever proved it, have they? Yeah. So obviously we've heard things that Priscilla has said. I'm not convinced. I'm not against Joyce Bova. I don't know much about her, but there's this thing about Elvis wouldn't sleep with a woman that's had a baby. It's complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. There's at least 3 women that had children that Elvis was seeing. 3 that had children.
That much I know. So I don't know what her thing is or what her deal is or what she's saying or why she's saying it. But I can tell you this much. He would never ask a woman to have an abortion. That much I do know. So thank you for the question and let me clear that up. Let's see.
Guys, the last 2 questions, pretty serious stuff. We've got the Edy Hand stuff. We've got the Joyce Bova stuff. Serious stuff.
This is one more. Last question. Vicky, 16070. Hi, Donna. I just finished reading your mom's book, which I really liked. I gained more information, and it provided such a warm and refreshing insight into Elvis personally. A couple of the things that stood out for me were, number one, Elvis's...
Hang on 1 minute. I just want to read Karen's comment. Hi, Karen. Karen says, I've read Joyce Bova's book. She claims she didn't tell Elvis she was pregnant. She claims she didn't tell Elvis she was pregnant. So, there's a lot to learn, guys. So let's keep going.
Last question. Vicky, 16070. Hi, Donna. I just finished reading your mom's book, which I really liked. I gained more information, and it provided such a warm and refreshing insight into Elvis personally. A couple of the things that stood out for me were, number one, Elvis's faith as a child, and 2, Elvis's good relationship with your mom, at times being his confidant. Your mom, by the way, seemed like she was such a great person, so warm, friendly, and full of faith. Because I just read this book, what your mom wrote about Linda stood out. According to your mom, she said, we talked about your kind of girl he wanted, and when he decided to marry again. At that time, we had this conversation. He was with Linda, and he said, Aunt Nash, right now, Linda seems to be the type of girl I would want. She's a Southern girl. She's kind of considerate, and she doesn't use bad language. And most importantly, she has a deep love for God. Clearly, Elvis was just pointing out attributes that he was looking for in a woman, and not a declaration of love or marriage for Linda. So there seems to be some ambiguity between your mom's comment and your comment wherein he said if he ever married again, it would be Linda. He did tell us that at the hospital one time. All the best. Well, yes, and he did say that he would, if he ever married again, that he would be someone like Linda. I said that it would be Linda, someone like Linda. But yes, she had the attributes that he really counted on, he really loved, and he really liked. He loved Linda. He did. But they broke up. He moved on and actually became engaged to Ginger for a short period of time. So, yeah, that's very true. They were close. But as far as my mom and Elvis, they were very, very close. My mom was 9 years old when Elvis was born, and they lived next door to each other. And they played together. They grew up together. And they used to play church together. And when he was 3 years old, my mom told me that they were sitting on the front porch of that little shotgun house. And he said, you know, Aunt Nash, someday I'm going to buy my mom and daddy a big house and lots of cars.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Guys, I'm going to have to go, but we're going to go on a dog walk, okay? It took a bit longer than I thought, but we're going to go on a dog walk, okay? So I'll let this play out, then I'm going to check out, and I'm going to join you all in 2 minutes on a dog walk with Ella. Okay, guys? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Margaret, Cassie, and everyone else. Thank you so much. We will be on the dog walk. A pretty serious Donna Presley reaction video. Some serious questions, guys. I know we're going to get a backlash. I know we're going to be the attack of the Martians, the attack of the stalkers, the attack of the anti-defenders. I know it's coming, guys. Bring it on, baby. Let's go.
And we all know he not only did that for his mom and daddy, but he's done it for many, many others as well. So it tells you what kind of person that Elvis was. But he and my mom maintained a wonderfully close relationship all through his life because we lived on the property at Graceland right behind the house. He would invite Mom over to his room, and they'd go upstairs to his room, and he'd wrap her in a blanket because he kept it so cold up there. And they would read the Bible and discuss it for hours and hours. He knew my mom was she was a Assembly God minister, so she was very versed in the Bible, and so they would talk about things, and he knew that she would always tell him what she really thought, not what he wanted to hear, but what he needed to hear, and the truth about everything. So they always remained close. Elvis was very close to family. He loved having all of us around. We kept him grounded, and he knew without a shadow of a doubt that because we were his family, that we loved him for Elvis, not for Elvis Presley. So that ends the questions for...
I'm not going to add to that. Nash sounds absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. Donna's mum, absolutely amazing. Adorable. Donna, thank you so much. I got to rush off because if I'm going to walk Ella and do a dog walk with you guys, with Team Elvis, I got to log out and get on with it. So, because I got to get the kids from school. Because yes, I'm a family man. I've got 5 kids with my wife. I got to go and pick up the kids from school. I'm the normal person. When I woke up this morning, I came out of the bed. I didn't remove the lid of my coffin and swoop away with fangs looking for human blood. I actually am a human being. Thank you so much, Donna. We love you. You're the best. Donna, thank you for speaking so honestly to all of us. Thank you for standing up for Elvis, your cousin. Thank you.
For tonight, everyone. I hope you enjoyed being with me as much as I enjoyed being with you. And just keep those questions coming, and we'll keep answering them. And thank you again for joining me. Thank you for listening. And until next time, God bless.
And thank you to Karen. Karen is a big part of this. Karen, good job. Good job. Thank you so much. Team Elvis, you rock.